47 minutes from downtown Los Angeles to Orange County. Hopefully the traffic isn't bad today. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're gonna be going from downtown Los Angeles to Orange County midday, so there shouldn't really be any too much traffic, but it looks like I might have spoken too soon. We're gonna see how Autopilot does. I just downloaded the newest update, so we're completely updated with all the newest features. We're gonna see how Autopilot does on this trip down. And also on this drive, I'm gonna go into the top 5 things I dislike about the Tesla Model 3. I've had it for almost a year now and I've put almost 13,000 miles. So we're gonna get into the 5 things that I don't like about the Model 3 and I wish they could have changed or add these features in the future. But before we get into the video, I do want to just say that the Tesla Model 3 has been a great car so far this past year. It checks off a lot of boxes for being a daily driver. It has a ton of features that it's had when I first got the car, and with the updates, a lot of features have came out within the past year as well. It's probably one of the best daily drivers I've ever had, especially with the Autopilot system, because it really just eases your commute completely. I love not going to the gas station anymore and just filling up with electricity when I get back home. But I'm gonna make another video, if I haven't already, on the top 5 things I like about the Tesla Model 3. So please hit that subscribe and watch out for that video. Let's get into the video. Okay, so it's another 41 minutes or 45 minutes to get down to OC. Looks like there's a little bit of traffic on the way down, but 44 minutes isn't really bad at all. Typically it takes like an hour to an hour and 15. In terms of what version this is version 10.2, 2020.24.6.1. It just updated today. But the update's actually been out for a few days, so I quickly glanced at it, and there seems to be a good amount of new features with this new update. In terms of our battery levels, we're at 47%. We started with about 50 to 49%, and we should arrive with 32%. I'm gonna see if I can get it down there and back without depleting the battery. It seems like I should be able to, and we should arrive with about 32% with just enough battery just to get back to downtown Los Angeles. In terms of the conditions, it's 74 degrees outside, cloudy day, not bad at all. There should be no issues with the weather today with Autopilot and full self-driving. It should be able to take us down completely fine with no glitches to Autopilot. So speaking of the navigation, this is the first thing I dislike about, or I wish the Tesla infotainment system had. Even though I tell my friends to not use the system anymore and just use the Tesla navigation system that's built with it, I do really wish that they integrated Waze, and I miss Waze a lot. But just because I feel like the traffic features of Waze, because it's crowdsourced, is a little bit more enhanced. And of course, everybody loves the police reporting factor of Waze. I do know that you can run Waze using the web browser, and I've seen that and I've tried it a couple times, but it's a little clunky and it just isn't as good as if it was integrated into Waze or integrated into the infotainment itself. So that's the first thing I dislike about the current state of Tesla, and I wish they would integrate into the future. Now, that's not to say that the navigation system by Tesla isn't bad at all. It's run by Google Maps, and they've added enhancement with almost every single update, and there's even mapped updates that come out all the time as well. I really like that you can see the superchargers laid out on the map, and they just added recently where you can see other brand or other off chargers as well within the area. Some other cool stuff is not only can you set your home address and work address, obviously, you can also set favorites. You can click the feeling hungry or the feeling lucky type of shirts for it to auto-generate some random destinations to eat or check out within the area that you're in. So right now, if I'm feeling hungry, I can click it and it's gonna take me to Luna Maya Grill in the area. I wonder what happens if you hit lucky. The Hollywood Walk of Fame, which is probably a great tourist destination in the area, especially in the Los Angeles area. All right, so I'm gonna get out of this lane because this lane is going obviously slower because of these trucks. My cruise control speed is set at 70 miles an hour, so we should be breezing by traffic. I completely forgot how bumpy Los Angeles highways are, so the trip has definitely been rough. I do this drive pretty often pre-COVID from downtown LA to Orange County, so there's actually 3 areas in which there's construction on the way down in which Autopilot has tendencies to glitch. This is the first area that we're going to drive through now that is a construction zone. Let's see how it handles it with the different markings on the road. Okay, so we're going pretty slowly through this area, so I don't imagine it would mess up at all. Typically when we go fast through this area, it has less time to react to the line markings or the lane markings, so that's where it messes up. Going about 42 miles an hour. It definitely looks like it's taking this area fine, no issues whatsoever, just following this truck in front of us, staying within the lines. It hasn't asked me to take over in the autopilot system, so we're pretty good through this first area of the traffic, or this first area of the construction zone. But yeah guys, thanks for watching another video. If you're new here, my name is Dennis. I picked up this Tesla actually almost a year ago, and I make videos about my experience. So if you're interested in any of that, please hit that subscribe. The second thing I really wish Tesla would have came out with the Model 3 is a heated steering wheel. I know being in California, you're really not going to experience the temperatures where you'll need the heated steering wheel, but there are certain days where it's 60s or even high 50s. It would just be really nice for the steering wheel to be heated so I can warm my hands up first. I really miss that feature because I've had it on the BMWs that I had before on the East Coast. It's just a really nice feature, even though I probably rarely use it, but it'd just be really nice to have on the Tesla Model 3. All right, so we're coming up to the second construction area where autopilot has tendencies to screw up, and we're going pretty fast right through this area. So 70 miles an hour. It hangs to the left a little bit and then goes to the right. And as you can see on some of the older highway or the old pavement, this is where it tends to screw up because it's trying to follow this line that it goes across that way sometimes, and so it can kind of go into the other lanes. This other lane goes this way as well, you can see, so it kind of tries to figure out which lane to be in, but it seems to be handling this area pretty well. Just ran over a pothole on the left. Hopefully one day autopilot will be able to detect potholes, but it seems to be doing pretty fine, just following the car in front of us, so it's not having any glitches whatsoever. And there's another lane that's going to the right here, and we're pretty much good through this second construction zone. So maybe autopilot has made some updates which has smoothened the autopilot system. I mean, they most likely have. Definitely seem to handle this area a lot better than the times before. So here's my rear view mirror. You can see my camera mount is kind of blocking a little bit, but you can see kind of what the driver can see through the rear view mirror through the rear window. You can kind of see the headrest in the back seat kind of block a little bit, but overall it's a very slim rear view viewpoint, especially because the tint is coming down from the top, the factory tint. So that actually leads me to my third thing that I dislike about the Model 3 is the visibility in the rear view mirror. Because of the way it's structured, and I guess because of the tint and how it's an all glass roof coming down from the top, and the top part needs to be tinted, the visibility is a little low from the rear view, which I had to get used to, which you will get used to if you buy a Tesla Model 3. But that is the third thing which I dislike about the Tesla Model 3. So as you can see, this whole back piece of glass is the rear window, and it's one big piece. And I guess the tint comes to about here, and that's where it causes the low visibility. Another thing I don't like is because this whole piece of glass is just one big piece of glass, the cost of tinting a Tesla Model 3 is a lot higher than many other cars that only have the glass that comes up to like right here. So most of the time you'll see quotes for tinting to be from anywhere from $500 to $600 plus, maybe even $600 to $700 plus, depending on if you get ceramic. But that's the thing with this big glass. It looks really nice, but it's got very bad visibility and it costs a lot to tint. We're about halfway there to Orange County, another 22 miles or 25 minutes. In terms of the battery, we are down to 42% from when we left at 50%. We should arrive a little bit better. It was saying that we're going to arrive with 32%, but now we're going to arrive with 33%. In terms of average speed, we've been driving about 70 to 75 miles the whole way. I haven't really gone faster than that, so that's probably why we're getting a better expected battery of 33% instead of 32%. But yeah, there's really been no traffic the whole way down. There was just a little bit of traffic midway. It should be pretty clear on the way down. It looks like it's starting to rain or drizzle a little bit, but same conditions down in Orange County, cloudy. Autopilot has really not messed up at all. It's just clear sailing, pretty open road, just following this van in front of us, cruising at 75 miles an hour and just staying in this lane. No issues whatsoever with autopilot. So a very smooth trip on this way down to Orange County. Once we get down to Orange County, I'm going to go through my third, fourth, and fifth thing I dislike about the Tesla Model 3, even though it's been a great car so far, but I wish they would have changed before releasing the car. These traffic concrete barriers are so scary. You really have to be wary when you're driving through them because there's certainly some accidents in which the autopilot system will accidentally not notice it and run right into it. All right guys, so we're getting off the exit now. Basically pretty much there. Autopilot's gonna take this exit on its own. I'm gonna see if I can try and lane change again the right side. No, I'm not gonna be able to. Let's see if autopilot will take this turn. Oh, that was okay. I had to press the accelerator. Okay, and autopilot is not taking that turn. So that was too sharp of a turn to autopilot. So I do kind of want to test that later on to see how well that is. But in terms of energy, we basically are going to arrive with 34% instead of the 32% that it originally stated we were going to arrive at. So we've done better on this drive, most likely because I've driven at about 70 to 75 miles an hour the whole way, which is, I believe, is about optimum for highway speeds for the best efficiency in my experience. So not too bad at all. The next thing I don't like about the Tesla Model 3 is, you guessed it, the turning radius. I just did a couple U-turns. The first time I wasn't able to actually complete the whole entire U-turn without backing up a little bit and then going for it again. But the second time I went a little bit closer to the curb and I was able to complete a U-turn without having to back up again and then going forward. This is actually a pretty big intersection. You can kind of see, pretty easy to make a U-turn in this lane, but if you were to be on any road that was slimmer, you would really have to wait for the perfect time or the best amount of space to be able to make the U-turn. The Tesla Model 3 really doesn't have the best turn radius when it comes to U-turns. I really wish they made the turn radius, I guess, more wider or more narrower so that you could turn more easily. People that have driven BMWs and Mercedes and Audis, I've definitely know where I'm coming from. The turn radius is just that much more of a degree better on those cars than the Tesla Model 3. And the last thing I dislike about the Tesla Model 3, and I kind of like it too, it's like kind of a hate or love relationship, is the way that you open the door is using your phone. But the problem with the iPhone, and I don't know if the Android users have the same issue as well, but the door only seems to unlock half of the time. And it seems to be that your phone has to be awake for it to kind of recognize it immediately. So let's try it right now to see if it just opens up. Okay, so of course it just opens up right away, but there's times where I come to the door, I pull on it a couple of times and it doesn't open. And the only way it unlocks is if I wake my iPhone up and then it recognizes that my phone is near the car and then it opens up. Another thing related to the doors, or that I kind of dislike, but I like, the door is a little bit too complicated for most. We all know now that you click this and then you open the door. But when you have friends or family in the car and they don't know that you just push this button and it unlocks the door, they always tend to go through this latch, which of course we know that can ruin the door frame of something around the door. But yeah guys, those are the 5 things that I dislike about the Tesla Model 3 that I really wish they would have implemented or changed before releasing the car. Don't get me wrong, I love the Model 3. It's probably the best daily driver car that I've ever had, and it checks off a lot of boxes for being a daily driver. But yeah, thanks for watching this video. Comment below on your thoughts on my 5 things that I dislike about the Model 3. Are they in line with what you dislike as well? Love to hear your guys' thoughts. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya!